update so you know what's going on. It's still really bad. The fire threat from that direction's eased, but the fire in this direction now is coming towards us, and it's heading towards all the towns in this direction. So once it gets in behind us, we'll be in big trouble because the wind blows this direction. So we're not real sure. Hey, Big Bang. Hey, Silverfinder. Just giving you a little update on what's going on. Still got the fires roaring pretty bad. Apparently they're going to be doing, or they are doing burn-offs up in this section. But yeah, it's coming right through. And they're warning all the towns now. All the big towns are getting warnings now. So not real sure what's going to happen yet. It's supposed to get real bad the next couple of days. Hey Brian, hey Coin World, hey Rafe. Yeah, the fires are still coming at us. It's going to be bad. If it came from the front way, it wouldn't have been so bad. But if it comes up through this gully way, that's when it's real dangerous. And I spoke to a fireman friend about it. He used to live down the end of the street here, and he said, hey Tim, he reckons that, hey David, he reckons that it gets that hot in these big fires when it's windy and hot. He reckons these houses will just, the timbers inside will catch on fire. And he says, don't try and stay there and fight it. He says, get out. And that was his house down there. So he said you won't survive. So I'm going to dig, yeah, it's bad. There's ash falling everywhere. Burnt leaves all the time. Like all the time is burnt stuff falling out of the sky. Like there's some ash here. It's all falling out of the sky all the time. Everywhere. I got a few letters there, Big Bang. I've got to open them up. We're going to use, because pirate duck's locked away in the trailer and everything's all packed away. Yeah, 1,000 kilometres, that's this fire. 1,000 kilometre fire front, and it's 226,000 hectares. And this is the second biggest fire. There's another one on the other side of Katoomba, which is twice as big. AMD. So pretty soon they're going to join up, and it'll end up being about 700,000 hectare fire when they join up. But so I'm going to dig an emergency fire shelter later. I'll do a little spoof video for everyone. You can have a bit of a giggle at that. And just in case we get trapped, cut off, then we've got an option. I don't recommend it, but it's something you've got to do. Hey Marty. Yeah, she's not looking good. It's there's another big fire coming from down the coast up towards us as well. So that's heading inland as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be much left. Unless the rains come soon, there's not going to be much left at all. We just don't know, Steve. We just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how long it's going to be. Like, it's been going on for nearly a month now so far. Like, we've evacuated once, and then like the whole town evacuated, and then we all came back, and so you just don't know. 44, yeah, it's about 40 here now, Jim, and it's only going to get hotter. Hey, Catherine Lee, Aussie, how you going, champion? Yeah, she's not looking good. They reckon in the next couple of days, it's going to get real bad, real nasty, real quick. And the direction of the wind's all going to come to here, sort of basically like you look on the map and the wind directions all come in and land here. So things are pretty nasty. Sending rain. Oh, cheers, champion Diamond. It's we had a little bit of rain on Christmas night, but it was only 15 mil, and it didn't even wet the ground. It's hard. You just don't know how long it's going to be, and that's the problem. It could be a couple of days. It could be another 3 weeks. You just don't know. I was going to go into town and go up on the jib, the big mountain there, and get some footage, like some higher ground shots. But there's no point because you can't see anything anywhere. The whole area is just smoke. You can't see very far anyway. So, but not looking good. I went up to the fire brigade today, and I'm going to be joining the fire brigade, so that should be fun. I don't think I'll be able to fight this fire though, because you've got to have a lot of training. But so next time at least I'll be in the fire brigade, so I'll be able to help out. But I volunteered to take me bobcat around town and clear people's driveways and stuff if they get stuck and all that sort of stuff. So they've got me number and I'm ready to go. Oh, koalas. See, this whole area through here is all koala country, the whole lot. And it's been wiped out nearly. So this whole area, I wouldn't think there'd be very many koalas left. The really big main koala colony on the other side of Yarrambul has been protected from day one. They've done everything they can to stop the fire from going over there, and like they've really put a lot of effort into it, and that colony will be saved. I don't think it'll get there at all. So I think that colony will be safe, and that's the one that's in the really good country and got a lot of healthy ones, and there's no disease in that colony. So that's one good thing, but geez, we've lost a lot of them. There's been some amazing pictures on Facebook of koalas coming down out of the trees and grabbing the hoses out of the firemen's hands and drinking the water out of the hoses. It's pretty sad for the poor little koalas. We're going to have to try and organise something where when the fires are coming, they allow people to go out and have a look for them, try and rescue them in front of the fire or something. But I don't think they'll allow it because of the danger of having people out there. But they should look at doing something. Waiting is the worst. Yeah, it's driving us nuts. It's been going on forever. Been stuck at home mostly. I went for a drive out today to get the mail from the post office box, and they had, I think it was about 15 fire trucks out at the next town. So there's trucks there from all over the state, so that's good to see. We've got a lot of help here at least. But they're not. Hey, Scrapping, how you going, champion, Mr. Doughboy? They said that if the fire does come, just to get out, because they won't come down here and fight the fire down here. It's too dangerous. So what they said they'll do is they'll just concentrate on trying to save the town, which is up in that direction. So they'll just try and save the town, and they'll let all these properties go because it's too hard, too dangerous. Only one road in, one way out. Hey, Galaxy. Yeah, no, it needs to be backburned. It should, there's no jobs around. Give them a job bloody fixing it up, like it needs to be done. That if you burn off, the big trees wouldn't get burnt in the fires. It would just go through underneath, and the big trees would be safe, and the koalas up in the top would be safe, like you say, Jim. But there's not a lot of talk about backburning like that, Jim. The whole big thing on the media and all that is about climate change. Well, that's not the real problem here. The real problem is they haven't burned it off for 20 years. So it's, you know, some places in the bush there, it's half a metre thick in just like bark and leaves and stuff like that. So it just goes up mega bad. Yeah, but if they got in and give people jobs like that, you know, to go around and burn off, people that know what they're doing, and they still know, they've still got the knowledge, they're just not allowed to do it. They've got to go through all these permitting processes and all this sort of thing, and sometimes it can take 2 years to get approval to burn off. Yeah, no water and no maintenance, that's the problem. We haven't had real rain here for 2 years, so it's getting to the point now where, you know, it wouldn't matter if it was global warming or not. You know, she's gonna burn when you don't get any rain. This is all the fire stuff we had to do for our house. We've got to have this here so the firemen can drive up here and hook up their truck to these big tanks. We had to have 20,000 litres of water. So these are old septic tank pump tanks that we dug out of the ground ages ago and brought home. And we fixed them all up, concreted them all up, got them working, saved us about 10,000 bucks, I think, in the cost. A bush hog and a backhoe. You dime, do you get him in it? Yeah, well, they've been doing that. They've got massive big dozers and everything out there, scraping and clearing, and they've got this one real big excavator, and it's got this big mulcher on it, and it goes up to these trees like this one here, and they put the mulch on the top of it and mulch the whole tree. Just mulch it down to the ground, bang. And so there's just a pile of mulch on the ground there. It's unbelievable, this thing. They've got that out there going. That does makes a big difference. Gets rid of the tree. See, when the fire gets in these treetops, there's nothing you can do. It's too late. You know, that's the end of it. We haven't had a good fire come through here in the whole time, like this actual property, in the whole time I've been here, which is 23 years now, 24 years. So she'll burn when she goes. Yeah, right up the back's the real problem. Like if it comes up through here, we've got no chance. Lots of bushfire access problems started when publicly accessible bush tracks were closed. Yeah, they've done no good. They've locked it all up, and you're not allowed in there, and you're not allowed to do this, and you're not allowed to do that, and no one's allowed to. Say a big log like that falls on the side of the road, you have to leave it there. You're not allowed to cut it up for firewood. It has to stay on the side of the road for animal habitat. Now, when the fires come, that burns and blocks off the road, and no one can get out of the streets, you know. So there's a lot of things like that that are just stupid rules. Oh, it is. It's only a drop of water, but these were the rules we had to have for the fire rules when we got the house ticked off. They made us put in these big water tanks, and everything had to be steel and copper, and for really cool Davy pump at the garage sale. It cost me 50 bucks. Got him fixed up, got him working. She's a beast. She really hammers, eh? I got that at the garage sale in Burradoo. That's where all the rich people live. No worries, detective. Carrying on about politics, and it won't. But they used to go, and that used to make the bush a bit clearer. But now it's all, everything's just so thick. It's crazy. And all the foxes and all that, they kill all the little animals, so there's nothing alive to eat all the bush. Foxes are real bad. Cats are a big problem too. Like you have big feral cats here, and they end up being like twice the size of a normal cat, and they get up in the trees in the bird nest. It's got to be a little bit, because it's not when the Aboriginals were in charge, like when they had the country, they'd burn it off, and apparently it was like a parkland everywhere. It was beautiful, and now they're not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to clean up their own country. Yeah, you'll have to get your stickers soon, Aussie. Step closer to the house. Yeah, no worries. Not much of a little house, just a little shack. Yes, I don't know how long it's going to go for. I wish it'd just end. We want to get back to our normal lives. Yeah, we wish that they'd let the Aboriginals clean up the bush like they used to, because it used to be nice and clear and clean country, and it, you know, they used to burn it off every year, and then it'd grow back nice and green, and all the seeds would sprout, because they need fire to sprout their seeds, but they don't need destructive hot fire. They need a good, nice, cool fire with smoke and that on them, and then that'll set their seeds. But what's happening is the fire's coming through, and it's so hot, it's just destroying everything, the seeds, the trees, everything. So mismanagement is the key here. Thanks, Dragonkin. Goats in mobs to eat the undergrowth because it works in other countries. Yeah, it'd probably do the world a good. They really need to burn it. It really needs to be burnt. The country needs burning, and the plants themselves need to be burnt. The problem is, if you don't do a little undergrowth burn every now and then, they don't like it because it lets off a bit of smoke and everything, and it looks like bad pollution. But the problem is that little bit then turns into a massive big bit if you don't do it. You know, like all these trees and that, when they go up, the pollution from it's just huge. So apparently they won't let us burn off all this bush up here because they don't want Sydney to have smoke. So that's one of the big reasons I've heard. Well, I just thought I'd give you all an update and let you know how things are going. It's been very, very stressful. Hearing helicopters all the time's been driving us nuts. Like you hear them all night, they're going over all night. It's like being in a war zone. The only difference is there's no bombs dropping. Oh yeah, the goats would just eat everything though. They're already around, goats. Goats are a real big feral problem. Yeah, Sydney is covered in smoke. Yeah, Sydney's been choking on it, but we're really coughing it up here. Goat stew. Yeah, the country was, you know, they used burning for hunting and to make the place green again for years and years, so it's used to it and it has to be done. If they don't do it, this is what happens. It's just stupidity on a grand scale. But that's what you expect from politicians. You don't expect them to do something smart. They're only there for themselves and what they can get in their pocket. Yeah, I hope the new year treats us well. You know, like we'd like a nice start to the new year. Oh, thanks, Catherine. The community's been awesome. We would have starved by now if it wasn't for the community, so we appreciate you a lot. There's yeah, we don't understand what's going on, Jim. It's stupid. You know, it's all about money. It's like the water at the moment. Hey, Arnie C, Stephen Kenyon. Like all the water at the moment, they they did this big environmental plan to save the environment. They released, I think it was $6 billion, and they went around and bought up all the water off all the farmers. So they all got in on it and made money buying the water up. And it was all paid for by the government, and then the government's just sending all this water straight out into the ocean. So all the water that should have been going onto people's farms to keep their farms alive all ended up out on the ocean, and all the politicians got rich from it. Yeah, we're okay, Arnie. Just still waiting. We've got the fires still heading around the back of us now. The fire threat from the front's eased a lot, but it's still coming up this way, and this where it's more dangerous now as if it comes this way. But it's still a fair way away, so, but it's so big they can't stop it. It's just a matter of time before it gets here. We've just got ash, smoke. It's horrible. There was a big fight at the hardware store for the last smoke masks the other day, the last dust masks. Yeah, straight down the mouth of the Murray River and out into the ocean. They're letting so much water go, it's absolutely crazy, and towns are going dry and they're sending all this water out to the ocean. Yeah, insurance wouldn't cover everything though. Yeah, I wish everyone a happy new year. I hope you've all had a better Christmas than we've had. It is, the dollar dictates. Yeah, the heat's just blown us away this year. The inside, oh, cheers, champion. Thanks, Rafe. The interior of Australia is so dry and so hot that it builds up, the heat in the centre builds up, and then it just spreads out and goes out everywhere. So you just get 40-degree heat all the time. Thanks, everyone. I love yous all. And I better go and do my little emergency fire hole. I love yous all, and I'll leave yous, and I'll catch yous on the next one. Be good, everyone. Thank you.